inauguration of all forms of talent, from creative to performing. Take a look around so that you can get a feel of what you're talking about. It is a small room, but it is heavily endowed with greatness. Just take a look around. See if there is somebody you know or noticed for the first time, or somebody you aspire to know, or somebody, if you know them, your life will never be the same again. Take a look around. This is the inauguration of different talents, from music to acting to comedy to DJ to modeling. Wow. To MCing. What haven't I mentioned? What's the difference between fashion and modeling? What? I hear fashion is for Mwaneki Mageri and modeling is for the latter. What, Mwaneki? Oh yes, I thought I talked about acting. Oh, it's not in the category. Oh, you need to be more specific. And Riverwood is very heavily represented, as I can testify. Ladies and gentlemen, would like to apologize for a late start, as some things cannot just be taken for granted. Like Nairobi is a growing city that needs to expand vertically. Some of you would have wished to be here early, and you called and you asked us to wait a bit longer, and we were patient enough to wait. And those who came early, bear with us. We did not want to start off the launch without the invited guests. It was proper for us to just delay a little bit, but with apology though. I hope we are forgiven. Are we forgiven? We met on the same stage. We started a journey, and he discovered something extra about himself. I also stuck to what I felt I was born to do. And him, his area, he really perfected his skill. Do not ask what happened to me. Those people who know me know it's not that bad. Hi, Bob. It's not that bad, is it? No, we're doing fine. It's not loud. He is so proficient. He's been very consistent. He has sired many gifts, many sons and daughters in his area. He is a role model, so to speak. He's an African icon. I'd like you to, if you can hold glasses or put your hands together or whatever it is that you do that makes a merry noise to welcome, please do this to welcome one and only Mr. Daniel Ndambuki. Please, one more for Daniel Ndambuki. One more.
Haya sasa ndio hiyo. Sasa walimu watalipa tu, kwani kuna jambo ingine. Mambo kama haya. All right, great. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Great to see all of you here. You know, when you're used to handling the microphone, now I feel like I'm at the UN headquarters. I need to talk about climate change and all that, the El Nino effect in Kenya. Great to see all of you. Look at the person standing next to you. Just look at the person standing next to you. Just whichever side, look at the person standing next to you. I want you to tell them this, that you must have been a beautiful baby. Even if they don't look like it right now. You know, people change with time. Very Busana, welcome to this great night of realization. I don't know where to start. Because I don't like giving my story, because I prefer other people sharing my story, and thank you so much, but MC. I remember you acting as a donkey. Glad you lost that. One of the best actors we have in the country. It's been 15 years. On 31st October, I celebrated my 15 years in the comedy industry, in the arts. And now you're still looking at me as if I'm made of mahogany. Yes, I'm just saying, on 31st of October, I just celebrated 15 years. I know it might not mean a lot, but it does to me and to some people, because that has made it possible after so many years. If I could talk about comedy in Kenya, for the longest time it's been gauged as a stereotype, as a local act. It takes a long time to grow something. You don't grow something in a day. It's just like mahogany tree. And that's why on Friday, I'll be traveling to Johannesburg, to share the same stage with Trevor Noah. In a Comedy Central production, we are 5 of us. They say we are top comedians, but I think we have better talent in Kenya. And after the 31st performance at KICC that saw over 5,000 people coming, paying quite some amount, because I don't think talent is cheap. Ticket was 10,000. The response was so overwhelming. The guys down there south were like, we need to know this guy better. So after the Comedy Central invitation, the event on 5th, they said you need to stay in Johannesburg to do another show on 12th for BET. Now I need to make this short because Kenya tuna tabia ya kudharau sana. We ni nature yetu kudharau, and we don't appreciate, we don't respect talent. Just that's the way it is. You don't know, like Susanna Wio here has represented the country to perform for Nelson Mandela's birthday in London, and she's here and we are staring and looking at her as if she's made of mahogany. It's the same reason that I sat with the David Rudisha at Java Sarit just immediately after he had won gold medal in London Olympics, and everyone was comparing him, who's better, Usain Bolt or Rudisha. He had just come back, and a very old lady, Muzungu, came and said, oh my goodness, she was hysterical. She came and she was crying and she wanted David Rudisha's signature. And everyone there, the waiters and everybody, that's just us. The only people we celebrate are politicians. Even when they are messing us up, we celebrate them. We don't care how great you're well, we just celebrate you. But I'm here for good reason. I'm so glad that we're here this night. We're not so many of us, we're few. In fact, I think we are so many. We should have been less than 15. That was the idea. I thought, Wilson, you had sent some few invitations. That should have been the case. When we were acting with Lupita Nyong'o at Phoenix, and when she was walking as a little dark girl, with no men, Nairobi Mafis is following her. Nobody used to notice her. In fact, the reason which made me notice Lupita is the father. Because of the Madevus, and he was a minister, and he kept on following her to Phoenix just to make sure she's okay, and he'll attend every single play that Lupita is acting. And she did a play, a movie. Did you know that? How many Kenyans watched the movie? In Our Jeans, right? Is it Liz?
Yeah,
In My Jeans? Who watched it? Nobody. Congratulations. And we are in the industry. Now, if you didn't watch it, who watched it? Until she went to Hollywood and she banged an award, then when she came here and said she's going to charge 20,000 per plate, kwani hiyo chakula inakuja na Moses? Because that's us. You just have to make it. I don't know. Hata ukiwakatikia mama yako watakuuliza kwani mbona hujaweka kachumbari? But I'm so glad that we are here for this great initiative. I'm not here to be recognized. My family recognizes me. That's enough. And my God. What is important is the generation that is going to come after this. I know we've had so many talents such, and yeah, just like that form. The ringtone, that's where we started. You need to change the ringtone. Reminds me of Nokia. We are on iPhone right now. God help you. He's a gracious God. Keep trusting in Him. Keep believing, sister. Get the right guys on the other side of Guru Highway. Now. The next generation of talents, the next generation of leaders will be redefined by what we achieve, by the little act we're going to do today. Maybe Professor Humphrey will be explaining this, and of course Wilson. It's a humble beginning. I love humble beginnings because that's where I started. If you had seen me 30 years ago, many years ago, growing up in Machakos, looking up after cows and pushing my dad, who was on wheelchair, to work every day, maybe if you had asked me where I'll be today, maybe that would be a far-fetched dream. I'm here because of the future talents. When I got my own show, it had taken me 7 years before I stepped on that stage. You know, people saw me just on Church Red Corner, and we were starting with Ridiculous. Well, there was Public Noisemakers.
Yes.
And then there was the theater where he was the starring. I think he got a baby, then he got a shock. That's where he lost. Anyway, he was there. Well, theater, we did the set books. So people count when you started on TV. It's been a journey. The next generation of talents we're going to discover, as Professor will tell you, is not, you cannot search or discover talent. Talent is inborn. You know, it needs to be scientific. You need to put someone. Can you sing? You can tell even before you parade 1,000 people. I have people every day coming and saying they are comedians, including my uncle. Hiyo kitu uko nayo, hiyo ndio nilizaliwa nayo, wacha wewe mimi. And he has one joke. Okay?
Is it funny?
I hope whatever we launch today, and those who've been nominated in the board and the ambassadors and the vision that we're going to outline, we're going to get real talents that will go way past the competition. If you had asked me, in high school I was the worst actor. I never featured anywhere. I tried music, I was nowhere. I was actually a footballer. Maybe it's the school I went to. Mumbuni High School, supported by the BOG, day and school and all that, PTA. They never understood me, the teachers, I never understood them. I'm the only person in the history of that school who one day woke up from 3 and told the mathematics teacher, I think there's a problem. It's either I have a problem or you have a problem. If I can't get things now, I'm in Form 4 right now. Let me concentrate on what I know. Just teach me English and Kiswahili. I'll sort myself out as I move on. And we agreed. And I argued my case with the principal. Ukiingia na mimi natoka. I was number 3 in that province. I concentrated in English, Kiswahili, social, what I felt I understand. I made sure I get 100. Hii wacha nipate hizi zingi. Hizi nilipata C minus, D for Dondore, Donke, lakini sasa hii ingine. And I wish someone could have identified that talent from the word go. Then you come back here in the city. If you get C minus or D, you are a useless person. Not because you're bad, but because no one is there to identify your talent. Now, for most of you are parents, if you have little kids in kindergarten which are charging more than a parallel education in university, and someone needs to investigate that, that's why we have deadbeat dads. Not because they don't want to be dads, but it's crazy. How should I pay 100,000 shillings per term? Na unauliza huyu mtoto, baby, so daddy, mulisoma nini? What did you study? Nakwambia, we slept. And you're like, this is where the future of the family lies. Unamuuliza, baby, so what would you like to be when you grow up? But inside uko, what would you like to be? When do you realize the future of this family lies in you? Anakuambia, I want to be the school driver. If you notice what they are doing in some of these schools, they're identifying the talents of the kids. That's why you're paying monkey gymnastics. That's why you're paying what they are doing. If you go to Brayside, you go to Brookside, you go to Developed World, they concentrate on your, okay, which university did Messi go? I'm not saying children shouldn't go to university. I'm just wondering which university did Ronaldo go? Or Will Smith? So you put us all in one basket. So if you get a D, C minus, right now if you don't have a B plus in Kenya, you are useless. So universities can't accommodate all of us. The high schools can't accommodate all of us. So every year we have 1 million plus useless people on our streets.
Yeah.
Where are we going to take them?
Yeah.
Now, I have good news for you. Whatever we want to start today, whether I'll be there or someone else will be leading this. I started comedy, stand-up comedy, with very little knowledge on where we were going. Right now, I can proudly tell you, every week I have 100 people on full salary. In a month, those are 400 people fully employed who would have been taxed. And that is a failure from our education system. Can you imagine if we had 100 talented people? Now, whatever the government is struggling with, and they're not talking about the youth, and that's where the problem begins. If we could have 1,000 people talented and be taught that they are the future. All this entrepreneur we had the other day here, and we had all these kelele, imepigwa, nini. I hope you went to visit KICC. Did you visit? You see, the biggest question was, so where is the creative arts? We want represented. After they had gone, they had to come back. I had a meeting with the president of International Creative Heads. It was like, so why weren't you represented? It's very simple. Art and culture, art is mixed up. We are under Ministry of Sports, Culture, Heritage, what was there? Let me tell you, I don't understand where we are. Do you ever realize poetry in its own is such a big industry on its own. Music on its own, so theater, comedy as a whole is humongous. I don't know if us who don't understand, maybe the government needs to, I don't know. But again, we are here to make that difference. If you want to know how powerful this thing is, right now if you go to your Facebook, after the president, I'm the most influential person in this country. Did you know that? I've won the social media award. I'm not trying to kujipigia debe hapa. No, you can check the Soma awards. I'm just trying to tell you, because I don't talk politics, I don't talk religion, I just say things like chapati. You have 1,000 comments. Why? Because people are lying and understand they are with you. Okay? So if I was to be used negatively, can you imagine the effects? But I love my country so much. And I look forward to better days in the future. And I'm here to tell you that we are holding a gold mine. I hope the machines that Professor will be telling you will be impressed, that will discover real talents. I know we've had so many talents awards and talent searches and all that, but it's about time we did a bit scientific and we followed up on those talents. You might have done terribly wrong in the first, from the word go, umekuja ukaiba vibaya. But does that mean that's the end of you? Maybe that terrible song could hit platinum. Who knows? And today, I'm so glad to see brothers and sisters who will be standing up to say it. I remember that one day we came rooftop of Intercontinental. This cocktail wasn't sponsored by nobody. Money had to be chucked from individuals' pockets, 3 of them to be precise. I don't know what the media guys are going to write about. I don't know if they follow up on after ransacking Waiguru's house. Maybe tomorrow they'll be ransacking the car. But today what we're launching is a future. And I hope your children will benefit from this, and your grandchildren. Because if you look at America, the only thing that they export is their culture. That's why unapata Mkamba amevaa shati ya 50 cents. Akilisha ng'ombe Mkadhozweni. Ajui ni nini, lakini hii ni 50 cents zinaipendanga sana hii. That's why you find them sagging. They don't know why. But America just exports culture to us. And let me tell you one thing you need to know as I conclude and invite back Mr. Muturi. The West has no story to tell us, no more. The only remaining stories are in Africa. And precisely in Kenya. I'm going to South Africa. The first thing I'm starting with South Africa is not Africa. Africa starts in Kenya. Dark Africa. Real Africa. If we gave them Lupita, I saw them write, Pop has visited war-torn Africa. Maybe they are right. We are so torn, we gave them a president. We are so torn, we've just given them Lupita. We don't know if to give them Liz Jaga or any other part. We are so torn, we don't know what to do with ourselves. We are so torn, we have a beautiful country. We don't know who next to invite. We are so torn, we've just had Obama, Pope. We are so torn, we don't know who else to invite because everybody is coming here. We are torn for so many great reasons. But most importantly is, this is the beginning. And if there's a great country that everything starts, then it has to be in Kenya. I don't want to say much. For me, I want to tell you, each and every one of you who's attended this evening, you're part of history in the making. And you need to appreciate yourselves for that. So thank you very much. May you enjoy the rest of the evening. I know Wilson and Professor have a lot to say. Kindly, asante sana.
Thank you very much. Oh,
awesome.
Thank you so much. I will give you 2 stories. Recently on CNN and all media in Kenya, we saw a 10-year-old Nigerian British girl who had just joined the British Open University for a degree in financial mathematics. 10-year-old. The first thing I thought, what would a Kenyan say? Because last year, Kenyans asked me a number of questions, whether I'm looking for shortcuts in education or not. But I do remember in 2013, when I was elected Secretary General in Kentucky, in the US, we met this young lady with the mother. Myself and my colleague, Kronberg, assessed this young girl and recommended a mix of homeschooling and creative learning, based entirely on talent-based learning. By the time the media caught up with her, she was not 10-year-old, she was 12, and already completing a master's in financial maths. This is not the ordinary university you know. It is the British Open University, it's prestigious. This is a 10-year-old girl doing not any other subject but financial maths, which we all fear. What makes her? Magic, the African magic, the Nigerian magic. I also met some parents in my office. And this story I said in the last award ceremony. This young man was in St. Nicholas, Form 2, caught with a bottle of Viceroy brandy in the bag. You know what happened. Both the parents, the teachers gave him hell. In my office, there's a mango tree. I always know guys with problems. They talk in a group before they arrive. And I knew there's the trouble coming. And the trouble man could see the hair. You know, it looks shaggy. We went to K1 to have lunch on a Saturday afternoon. Since he had got a bottle of Viceroy brandy, we insisted he had to take a drink, but on the side, as we discussed with the father, who had come from Addis Ababa. As we had our drinks, we realized we're getting more drinks. Then we discovered later, the young man had already been drawing people. In 10 minutes, he draws you the way you are. So this guy was sending us drinks so that we don't disturb him. On another occasion, he went, if you go to K1, Beach and Bush, there's a guy who makes cocktails there. And there's the soccer city where we watch football. So I took him this afternoon just to do some mentorship work with him. And he decided he wants to join the guy making the cocktail. And you know what the cocktails guys do to impress the ladies, isn't it? They throw the glass in a style, you know. And this boy went and I said, oh my God, I'm going to lip a glass here. Damn it. He did his bit. And finally, with my son, who was similar to him, they forced us to put up a club, if you heard about G-Sky, next to K1, the rooftop. So we got these kids who love music and all that kind of thing, so they were very happily building it up. And one day, this guy was making a cocktail, and nice ladies were going continuously to his cocktail. And he had this small spoon that before he makes the next lot, he had to make a taste. And I sat with my friend Ukubaso from EABL. And I kindly watched and I told Ukubaso, there's something peculiar about this boy. I am suspecting him to have special taste buds. If you know special taste buds, those are people with rare ability. If you want to make alcohol, it has to be of the right taste, any beverage. There are people who must taste it, and if they say it's fine, it's when you make volumes. So rare people. So he was tried, he was taken to Raraka, he passed the initial test, they took him to South Africa. Fortunately, he left EABL, he went for Carlsberg. Today, he is the brand ambassador of Carlsberg, earning close to 1 million shillings a month. He still has his dreadlocks.
Wow.
This continent, this country, needs to apologize to the many parents that sell their cattle, land, and all their belongings in the bank to make kids go to school to learn exactly what they'll never be.
Yes, it's true.
It is a sin committed by the government. It is a sin committed by parents who refuse to accept that we were born in our own uniquenesses. What is education? Education is enhancement of talent. So what is your business watching your child every morning taking to school if you do not know your child's talent? If you're a teacher and you're teaching a kid without knowing that kid's talent, then you are not very different from a doctor giving an injection without a medical review. It makes no absolute sense. I can tell you, the only reason you're taking your child every morning to school is because you believe your child has talent. And you also believe that that school has resources, that means teachers too, with capacity to enhance that talent. Otherwise, education is meaningless. That's why you as performing artists were rebellious in school. Why? You were not wired at birth that way. So what is talent? I'll give you very little science, not a lot of science. At the time of conception, a lot of things do take place. The brain establishes communication paths with the body. And just like Safaricom, it has termination points. They're known as quantum points on the body. Those are in the main organs. So, why do you learn? You learn because communication paths are efficient. So, when you give birth to a child, when you say child development, it means there is only establishment of paths between the brain and those points. The brain that established that is called the front lobe here, and it has only 4 parts. Those 4 parts correspond to careers that you know. That's what we call careers. So if there is a problem on your knee, it initiates a signal to the nearest base station, and that base station must find the quickest path to the brain. If it always relies on the left side of your brain, and on the upper part, you're more likely to be scientific. On the lower part, you're more likely to be managerial. But if your brain activates constantly on the right, we say you have the smart and the beautiful brain. The brain of creativity, the brain of emotions, the right brains. That's the brain that has the performing artist. That's how you behave that way. Now you can imagine when somebody tells you in Kenya that he wants to teach your child, or they're sending kids to do an examination without knowing how this child is made. It is a catastrophe. And the results are saying it and saying it more than 50 years of independence. So today, we are wowing about this, but in the 1930s in the US, they already found out. There's the sad thing about it. If you want to know examples, Venus and Serena Williams, read the story. In America, in the UK, in most Europe, in Southeast Asia today, no child can enter class 1, can enter any academic system without having a talent report. Because that report will tell you what the child can learn and how the child will learn. But more importantly, what is the learning style? What is the product style? Very, very essential. Because product style determines why this teacher I like, I don't like the other teacher, yet the syllabus is the same. Why? So Mr. Williams decided, based on the report, as a parent, I'm going to spend more time with my kids on a tennis court and little time in the classroom. Thanks to the American system, look what results we got. So today, in Africa, and from the time I came back from the UK in 2003, I've been on one agenda: talent, talent, talent in education. Of course, you know what happened in the beginning. People say, kawaida Kenya, if you come with something new, hatujasikia hiyo lazima ni fake. Ubora is fake, kila kitu hiyo yule ni fake, will be fake sana. Fake zaidi. But there's one thing I said in 2004. The trend we've taken with our education system will make us grind to a halt. More than 10 years, look what's happened in the education sector. You can change as many ministers as you can. It will not work. It is not that they don't know. I was in the Professor Douglas Odhiambo's Commission for Review of Education. And we work hard and we put it in law. Go check Education Act section 44 to 48. That education must be pegged on talent. It's there. They can't implement it. They will never do it. Then the sad things happened. You know, government has no idea. Government will only pick your idea. In fact, most of them, they steal. And when you steal somebody's idea, you can't implement it properly.
Spot on.
And then they want to lie with it so that they can get the money. So the recent one is, they're telling the president to set up talent academies in the 47 counties. I can tell you, bang on, that is stupid. How can you teach talent? So what do you need the academies for? Talent is innate ability, it's a natural endowment. You will never teach it. It's not possible. So you got a good idea. You want to look good into hotels and look good to the president, you lie to him, so that you run away with someone's idea without understanding. I tell you what, that's how wrong it is. So people walk and take caravans and say, we are going on a talent search. What are you looking for? You must be looking for money. Talent is already in the person. You don't look for it. It's already there.
Speak.
All you need to know is how to recognize and enhance the talent. To know your talent, you can use your naked eye, and I'll tell you why. Very simple. If your child has got fever in the middle of the night, in Africa, kawaida tunasema namna gani? Ile malaria mbaya sana.
Malaria fake.
And the first thing on their mind, the hospital, because we know the hospital has a long queue. So, why? Hii dawa ingine tulitumia last time ilifanya kazi sana. So they walk to a chemist and they buy dawa ya malaria. Now let me tell you something. Fever na hiyo joto is just a symptom.
Yeah.
It's the same symptom for pneumonia and even typhoid. Now see the danger here. If you took medication for malaria, and it could be typhoid, first, the medication you've taken is going to create new problems. But the original sickness is also escalating. The net result is that by the time you get to hospital, it's too bad, you got to be an inpatient. And when you become inpatient, you're going to spend more money, isn't it? What could have taken you very simple, just go for a good medical review, and you would have just spent 2,000 by when you go to go. Now that's the concept I want from tonight. We must embrace our education, and the talent is not only about education, it's for other things as well. But tonight I'll concentrate on this. We must have the approach that requires us to evaluate, have a report, and that's when we can dispense. To know your talent, we cannot use our naked eyes. There's a procedure, and there are only three. One, oral screening. Oral screening, what we do, when you come, we have a chat, just like you walk over to your doctor. He asks you, ilianza lini? What were you doing? What is the doctor doing? He's trying to establish a pathology of the problem. You understand? That's number one, oral screening. Step two, we use what they call software evaluation. Every type of person, like I described, the 4 quadrants of thinking, the brain, has its own model. So these models were created by psychologists over many years, and we have such more than 100 such models. Those models have now been put together into large software used internationally. And when I do an oral preview with you, I will determine the best standard to use for you, the best fitting one. Just like a doctor does. Says, I think it is typhoid, so I'll take the route of a Widal test. You understand? Same thing we do. When we're done with that, we are almost 90-something% done. But doctors also do one thing. They do a confirmatory test. You remember it? The little biology you remember. Now, today in the world, we have a machine. It is known as anthropobiometric machine. Jaribu limina hiyo.
Biometric machine.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Anthro means man. Bio means like biology, isn't it? Metric means measurement. Okay? Those who have been machine, but I have some pictures of it. We got this machine donated to us in the year 2010. And it was a live function. The chief guest was Musalia at Hilton. If some of you can remember that. It's the only machine in Africa up to today because it's expensive. That time it was doing close to 300 million. So not many people could afford it. When you go in the machine, it does one thing. In less than a minute, it produces for us what is known as a body model. Mesikia model? Body model. A body model is you minus bones and flesh, only showing conduit lines between the brain and the quantum points that I mentioned. For us as an expert, when I look at it like this, I can even tell what happened before. In fact, it's very easy even to tell if your mother had paika. Paika means when mothers are pregnant, they eat non-food items like soy, and it has an impact in the life of kids. Okay? We can tell. With the body model, we finally confirm this man is right-brained, this lady is left-brained, lower, upper, and with what we call sub-ciphers of intelligence, or what you can call in careers specializations. So you confirm. Now you can imagine that process with somebody walking over and telling you I'm doing a talent search. What the heck are you doing? What are you saying? There's nothing like that. Through that process, we've helped a number of people, and now listen attentively. Many of us were thought to be very stupid in school because you only liked dancing. You only like going for trips. You remember those guys? And some of them were very good with the women. Very sly guys. What was the problem? The problem was simple. You are making, and the way the schools thought you should be were not compatible. And that's why there was that obvious rebellion. In my center here, which is a subclinic I deal with to give my reports back to the World Council headquarters, I learned something. I got over 60% of the people coming from my report showing more of performing artists. So I thought something was wrong with my process. Till I played back and realized people who have got good grades, they go for medicine, so they don't need to come to me. People who have got good grades to do engineering don't need me. What talent? I'm a bit. The guys who come to me now understand where there are problems. Wale wanaambiwa watu kuja na hadi uncle aombewe, you know, children. These are the performing artists. And that's why I put my concentration and emphasis on them. Yet these are the people who have the potential to change this world. Because it is only in the performing artist that we can have multiple genres of talent. Multiple genres of talent in action is what we call a gift. A gift, when I say gift, is not the same as talent. Everyone has a talent, I mentioned that, isn't it? But not everyone has what? A gift. Because many talents in action make what? A gift. And the gift is not usually more pronounced with the right brain. This is from research. So, we decided at World Council headquarters. This was started before I came in as Secretary General. And they say they have to find a way in which they can link the normal academics and the talent-based learning. Number one, performing artists like you are very poor at written exams. In fact, they're very poor at cramming. Yes. They don't memorize anything. In fact, they leave the papers halfway. Yes. So number one, they shall never do any written examination. We refused. So we used two methods of assessing them. One, project-based. So if you're doing your film and whatever, you do your thing. Then you can do a write-up about it, which you evaluate, and we grade you on that, and you get your degree. Or you can be more creative, you make things, but you don't know how to write about them. Then we evaluate that thing that you've created, and that process known as non-verbal assessment is the newest tool 4 years ago. If you went to the website of Harvard, Cambridge, Oxford, Boston, Yale, all the top international universities, today they write, they can now admit up to 30% of their admissions purely based on talent. In fact, they write it this way: we shall admit you even if you have low grades or no grades, as long as it can be explained. So these students went up to the High Court, and it is only the High Court that ordered the university to release their result. How much more stupidity must we entertain in this country? Then there was the case of the teachers. That if you got a degree as a teacher and you never got the right cut-off points, then TSC will not recognize your degree. Something has suddenly gone wrong in our education system, and something must come out very quickly. But this is what we have been doing, and this is what must take place in this country. So that I go to the next level. Any person with work and a life achievement, with the tools and the means to evaluate that, especially for performing artists, I have the latest tools. Some people have come. For example, Churchill visited me recently and I did an evaluation. And top universities like Georgia State University in Atlanta accepted direct master's degree with huge exemptions. And I'm going to endorse that. At least I'm still the Secretary General, so we have an advantage there. And that has been occurring to many people. Right now, 51 members of current parliament have been benefiting, but they don't want others to benefit. They come to me chini ya maji. Now that is a noble job to be done, but cannot be done by one person. I'm one person, and it cannot be continuously done by me. So we have a structure to make sure that this can reach out to the rest of the people, because I go to every country in Africa setting up the same things, and I cannot continuously do that for the many Kenyans, many Ugandans, many Tanzanians who are suffering. So we decided that we want to make sure that it is done by our people either through retraining or some way of affiliation. Our first step is we want some people to go out, talk to governments, talk to institutions, make them understand. And so in our meeting last year in the US, we decided to create 3 positions in the African Federation for the Gifted and Talented. The first position was to create a talent envoy. Talent envoys are people who have achieved without endowment of academics, but I've got capacity to influence people across countries. So this kind of person will be able to talk to people in Kenya, Uganda, Senegal, South Africa, in all the countries in Africa. But we'll have a replica in the country who will do a similar job but within the country, and that one is called the talent advocate. Then we need to, the person who will do the actual scouting or spotting of talent. I'll describe that at some point. That is known as the talent delegate. So I've got 3 people in this room today that have been approved by the World Council, and today we will celebrate them and make them start that long journey. But before that, I need to tell you that in America, in United Kingdom, when they receive reports of talent, they maintain a database. In that database, several things will take place. And this is a very important lesson. I hope the media takes this over to the government. In our country, we started the Youth Fund and the WESO Fund. Then NYS. Very good objective. We want to support the youth. And the youth, you must not be made stupid.
Yes.
And I keep telling you this, don't do that. Then they said, if the youth and women can come in a group of 10, we'll fund you. What are they funding? They're funding a group. How difficult is it to get 10 guys to come around and get money? Is it difficult?
No.
So you can understand why the money is getting consumed with no results. How do you explain to a poor person to be not corrupt? You're making noise.
Yeah.
Because they have to survive. That's different from helping a person. The only help that they can give you is to have a wheelbarrow and that kind of thing. But let me tell you what we've done. And this is what has been done in other countries. When we have a talent report and we have it in a database, and this I did the other week, people with same genres of talent, it is not true that if you have your talent, you'll succeed alone. Sometimes you need others of similar to work with, especially if you're a musician. You know, you need a teamwork. Who will be your team that you can be sure of to succeed? In the database, we can trigger and give you the matches. So you get a guy from Githunguri, matches one in Baringo and another in Homa Bay. And they can work together and produce enterprises. Now, if you have such a database, then you can now know where to put money, time and effort as a government. You will no longer finance political hegemony. You will start financing real talent. And without the government knowing the talent of the youth, they are exactly financing nothing, they're just politicking. That's very good. At the moment, we have close to 10 million search in our database. We need to have a bigger number. And I urge you all to look and encourage others to be part of that database, because that's where the future is going to be. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my pleasure to announce the officials that have been appointed by the World Council to head the nice things I've said today. Just a coordinator of gifted and talented activities across Africa. As such a person is responsible for talking to governments, government institutions, in an effort to excite and push them towards the gifted and talented goals. So this person that I'm going to call up in front of us here is one such celebrated person that we believe has that capacity. Now, this person started from the humble beginnings in music. has met the biggest, the mightiest on this planet. Has met Barack Obama, met Will Smith, Angel Michael, met, well, I don't know who to mention, but still remain very simple. He's a goodwill ambassador of UNICEF. He's a person that is very humble. It is a person that uses the power of talent to reach out even to the smallest and remotest communities. Ladies and gentlemen, may you all join me in celebrating Susan Adhiambo. And so today, I hand over from the World Council her appointment to this position. Thank you very much. The next person is going to be the talent advocate. The talent advocate works similar to the envoy, except that the job is limited to a country. So we have several advocates across the countries. But today we're mentioning the one for Kenya. This person will have to work with government departments in Kenya, communities in Kenya, and make sure that schools, churches, homes do understand the role of talent for the future of their kids or even for themselves. May you all join me in celebrating, and again, you know, this gender score today is very good for the ladies. And again, I call Susan Ngina. Susan has got a rare talent, and I've never told you this, Susan. Do you know the people who have the energy to dare? The people who have the heart to soothe. She has worked with communities not just in Kenya, but also in Botswana. I cannot list many of the projects she has dealt with, but for the short duration of time she has been with us, she has used her own personal money to meet almost half the counties in Kenya to pass the message of talent and tell the people, you want to do something for the youth, you got to embrace this. And Susan, today is my humble day to hand over to you from the World Council your appointment as the talent advocate for Kenya. Thank you. The next person I want to call is a very popular man. This is a person, I think most performing artists, especially musicians, ladies in their beauty pageants, I think one way or the other you must have passed through him. He's very passionate about things talent. The only thing I have done is to make sure that he does it in a manner that is professional. And one of the things I mentioned to him is, I don't want you to make the mistake of Tasker Project fail. Where they sold the Tusker and there was no one significant. You all agree with me, if Chameleon went for a trial at Tusker police station, we tell him, out! Because Anna Sauti. Because the way of assessment is by naked eye. They didn't understand that journals of talent can be intertwined and could be able to correlate and cross-link to get results. And that's what music means sometimes. The gentleman I'm going to call here is going to be the talent delegate of Kenya. Alongside the two Susans, these people will join us at world level to represent Kenya as delegates of the assembly. His particular role will be to deal hands-on with the people with real talent under the guidance of the Federation. He has gone a little bit ahead of us and started doing it in a way that I never knew. But before I mention more, join me to celebrate Wilson Kisiero Malaba. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, my time is over. To continue with Wilson, next year in Africa we have the first Gifted Africa Awards. Not talent awards. Gifted, not talent. Talent, unaongea daily. Now, that is a rigorous process. You could have a talent, but you might not have a gift. So you might be good, but without knowing you could be good in something else. Now Wilson is going to run the Talanta Kenya Awards. We want to celebrate gifted Africans. And why? If you will be found to be gifted, we will recommend you to the Council of Gifted Entrepreneurs in the world, which is housed by the World Council. It is in that committee that we also recommend those who have the potential to be nominated for Nobel Peace Prize. Depending on age, such people will get scholarships to top international universities like Harvard. More importantly, the World Bank and related institutions have agreed in principle that if such people do have such potentials, they will be funded. But we want to initiate a bigger process here. Just like in the US and the UK, when they find gifted people, the government immediately begins to protect that such a person. Because those are the people who are going to shape the political, economic, and social destiny of our nations. Those are the brains we are going to rely on to secure our futures. So we want to find that in Africa for the first time. So I will now leave the mic for the MC so that Wilson can be able to continue and tell us about Talanta Awards and the nominees. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think he deserves a better applause. Clearly, he is the professor in the room. There's a huge difference between his English and mine. Mine is purely for communication. His is for information. and he delved into the depth of it. And that is why you guys were able to stand for that long without batting an eyelid and listen. If it was not necessary, you are artist, clearly. You would have shown by signs. This place would have been empty. So I've asked the DJ to give me something slight so that I can allow your bodies to relax. We are human. And I also want to acknowledge that there are some of us who, in the state they are, will not withstand to stand for long. So I want you to jig a little bit and relax your body. I have a talent in identifying when people are fatigued. So I've already, I don't know what is the scientific definition. No, a jig, not jigger. Let's concentrate on the jig. So I'm going to ask for something. Remember the name I asked you to request from your neighbor? Yes. So you're going to dance to that name because probably the revival of that name could be the reincarnation of something great. I mean, there is something in a name. There is a basketballer who made combo. How many guys of those days? Hey, na Dikembe. Now, if a guy could make millions out of Dikembe, which is close to Mukembe, I mean, why are you shy of your name? Let the African name come out. I'm looking for a blue blazer. Imekuja? All right, put your hands together for these two gentlemen. I want to show you something. I want to show you something very unique about today's event. Is a researcher in talent. Is an organizer in talent-based events. Is an icon in talent. And I am the one introducing them. Put your hands together for them. This is it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to appreciate your presence here tonight. It's not, we had a big list of close to 400 people who we've nominated for this big journey we want to start. We've been told the difference between what we want to do starting from January and what has been done before. A lot of you are people we know each other in a way or another, as a model, as a musician, as a dancer, fashion designers, fashion models, as a cameraman, or guys in photography and all that kind of work. We appreciate you, and we appreciate the work you've been doing. Now today we are here and we want to launch something fresh, something new. This is something for the last, I think, 15 years. Anyone who knows me, I've been doing, a lot of some of you, I met you guys when you were young, as in really we've basically grown up together. I'm not saying I was old, I was probably 19 when I started doing this thing, thereabouts. And Akina Cecilia, Mombi, I think I can mention like half of this place. There are people we've worked with from a long time ago. As in from, I discovered someone in the streets wearing torn funny jeans. Today they're here looking like stars. You know, people who never, others are even TV presenters, others are on radio. You know, people who we only call out and come and tell them, we have a radio commercial. Would you like to try? Because I'm talking to you, then I hear you have a nice voice. I think we can use your voice somewhere. And we did it blindly. We didn't know how to do it professionally. As in the way we are being taught now by a prof. It's very different, it's very unique. People like Jeff Koinange, people we worked with when we were very young. People like Italia Basiero, who we picked from nowhere. Maybe one of the people, let me brag this one. This one I have to, Yawato. There's a lady everyone today sings about called Lupita Nyong'o. If I look at her story back in 2003, when we scouted her to do Miss Malaika at Braeburn, it's a story today I sit and I marvel. Because let me tell you one thing, usually when you're looking for models, you look for people who have standout body shape, height, and everything. This is a girl who looked like a miniature, but she had the confidence to take people who are bigger than her, taller than her, who look like they had what it takes. She said, with the little confidence I have and what you're going to help me, which we used to say teach, it's basically enhanced in me, I'm willing to take part in that event. She became Miss Malaika Kenya 2003, and today she's a celebrated artist all over the world. So we want to do it the right way. A few of us who are here have struggled to get to where we are today. It's not we did not do it by design. You ended up being an actor, a model, a dancer, a musician by accident. I can say by accident. But now we want to go out, purpose to find real true talent using the gifting machines we have, the anthropometric machines that we have. We want to go to every corner of this country where possible, where we'll partner with the government on every area of talent. And some of you people who we have nominated will sit in the advisory bodies and the academies that will be going with across the country. The reason you're here today is because we want to celebrate you too. There's no way we will step out and go to every corner of this country without having the people who have been the cornerstone of talent in Kenya, in the different fields. You're all respected, you stand out, and we want to appreciate you people and give you an opportunity to compete against the best in Africa. We're launching today Talanta Kenya Awards. We've nominated you and many others who are not here to compete for the ultimate Kenya winners in the different categories. It will be done very differently. No one will vote. No one is voting. Because you see, voting, you cannot vote for, you don't know what's good in that person, his popularity. So sometimes we end up getting people who win, who are not necessarily talented. We want to find true talent, then we take them to Africa for the Africa Gifted Awards, compete, Prof I think has mentioned how it will go, all the way to the world level. Yeah, it's that serious, it's that big. So we'll be talking to you, we'll be communicating to you. I think from next week, you'll get emails which will tell you the next step we'll need to do. And even the media will share with you the list of the nominees, because I think the list is long. I don't want to read all the names. I was going to do it, but I can see we are tired. Let me do it. Someone is looking at me like, what, I've been here. I'll only mention the ones who are here. The rest, we'll keep it and you'll read it in the papers in the coming weeks. So in the fashion category, we have John Kabeke in the house. John Kabeke? I think everyone knows him. He's been here and he's probably older than me. But Johnny, Sunajo bless you, brother. Then we have Melanie from Afro Street, a young budding designer. Where is she? Melanie? Yeah, she's there. She's actually the one who did what I'm wearing today. This, and even my wife somewhere. She's good. We also have Hannah Wanjiru in the house. Hannah Wanjiru, another gifted designer. She stepped out. Then in the musicians today, actually, there's a big apology from them. Waire is supposed to be one of the key people here. He lost his father the other day, so he's not able to attend. He sends his apologies. Then the rest, nameless and team at Carnival, doing the Miss Coach fundraiser, which goes to benefit children in the less fortunate areas. So most of them were not able to come. But today in the house we have Susanna Owio, who needs no introduction. I think she's been introduced. Of course, that is in the vocal. You know, there are these categories that we've been told it's an expressive verbal linguistics. Sorry, yours is not verbal, yours is vocal and performing vocalists. So we have Mbuvi Kwata Kawaya. Mondo wa baba, ukwabi? Mbuvi is somewhere eating. I knew.
Please stand up.
Then also we have Long John. Long John is a rapper. Maybe some of you don't know him, but he's right here. Thank you. Then we have in the model category, which we call it the catwalk, high fashion body models. They are under what we call body models. We've divided them into two categories, and then we have a subdivision. We have the pageant and catwalk models, and then we have high fashion. So in the house today we have Ruth Kinuthia, who's also a former Miss World, and today she's also a makeup artist. We also have Roslyn Moringo, who's also a former Miss Tourism, Miss World Tourism. She's done many pageants. She's also the World Next Top Model Africa. You know, so we have celebrated people, and they're still in the craft. That's the key thing. There are many guys who are doing talent, but we look for people who have stuck it out. It didn't matter what you got, but you're trying to prove to the world that, you know what, through what I'm doing, I've eaten, I've educated myself, I'm helping my family, I'm investing more through what I'm doing as a craft. Those are the people we wanted to do. There are people who probably one day were musicians, they got money, and they went into construction. Like the guy with the camera, as the MC said. He needed a camera to become a real estate. I wish he did both. I wish he did both, yeah? Then we have Juliet Kiruhi. She's a catwalk model at the end, there, short hair, beautiful. We have, who's dealing with Sasa? Tukuite Mama Jiga. We have one lady who has a heart of a lion. She's stuck it out, I'm telling you. Out of all the beauty queens Kenya has ever had, this one I'll say without fear or favor. She's the most consistent, she's the most visible, and she works. From imagine 2000, when I met you 2003, 2004, and then she became Miss World in 2005, until today she's still at name to record. She's fighting the menace called the Jiga. We want to appreciate such people. That yes, I'm talented, but this is how much my talent, this is where it can take me. She's been to the Olympics, carrying the Olympic torch, a big honor. It's not a rare thing. I can't talk about her. I wish she could come here and speak, but time is short. But there's a lot. We also have our immediate former Miss World, Aida Guma, who within only 1 year, the things she has done within that 1 year, let me tell you, beats a lot of other predecessors who've been there. And when I called her and gave her the information, she was shocked. She said, but wait, I'm going to compete with Cecilia. Then we said no. Now because Cecilia is there, we've created a senior and a junior category. So in your junior category, you stand out. She was at peace. Then we also have people in expressive arts. This is now the MCs, the TV presenters, the people you mostly see on your TV sets. These are guys who we appreciate to go through what we are doing right now. Because through here, some of you, people who've been trashed, people who have looked down upon you and thought you're nothing, now you can, within time, a reasonable time and connection, you'll be able to stand and say, I'm also a professor, I'm also a doctor. With my music, with my acting, with my comedy. I would love the day Churchill is called Dr. Daniel Nambuki, purely because of comedy and the work he's doing in comedy. You understand what I mean? That's what we want with everyone who is here. We want to take you to that level. So Moniki Mageria, my big brother, my mentor in many ways. This is a man who's stuck it out. Let me tell you, I think he's in charge of Riverwood Productions. Yes. He's been an MC, a producer. Yes. He's also been the founder of Kalasha Awards. Yes. As in, he's been everything. We've been with him. He was even my model at one time. Yeah? As in, most of these guys. My brother here, Churchill Namuki, is another one. But I think at this level he is unfair because sasa anakapia side, sasa hizi kwa side ingine. And then the person I call, who I'm going to mention next is very funny. He's an MC, he's an event organizer, he's a social media guy, he's a professional paparazzi but does very nice photos. He's stuck it, he's been in this game for a long time, he's been a radio presenter. We call him the guru, Mr. Security. Right now, even one day I didn't see his camera today. He's also been nominated and is present here. Then we quickly go to the acting. In acting, we've divided it into two. We also have film and normal TV, the normal actors on TV, because there's a big difference between someone who can cut it across your normal soap and someone who can do a movie. So in that category, we have Liz Constantera Torres. I used to call her Liz Ndaga. But that, I told her when she came in, that second name she acquired is a bit difficult. You all know her. Yes. She's famous. She can't stand because we know she's carrying a bundle of joy somewhere there. But she's there. We appreciate you. We celebrate you. We also want to appreciate, hey, this is another man. Sometimes you get scared if you're a woman when you see him. But he's a good man, a good actor. A very, both film and TV. In fact, the roles he's given is because of the way he looks. My brother from another mother, Ainea, Ojambo, Mr. Steak. Amejificha mahali.
The ghost without a mask.
Ama ni usiku. Then next, we want to appreciate a young lady. This lady came to my office many years ago. She wanted to do the simplest thing she could do as a model. I didn't know one day she'll metamorphose into an actor, an actress. And she did a couple of jobs those days and disappeared. The next time I see her on TV, she's a big star. Let's give it up for Mombi Maina. Somewhere there. Where is she going to? Somewhere there. Yeah, okay, yeah, right there. The second, okay, there are 2 more or 3 more. The next person is miniature, beautiful, but also a constant hit on TV. You all know her. She goes by the name Janet Kirina. I saw her somewhere here. Where is Janet? And we will also have, you'll also be able to guarantee us papers based on who we are. I'm telling you, I was excited. I said, this is a person who's understood the script even before it's been read to them. Let's give it up for Irene Ayimba. Yeah, we will see her. She's the one who's making noise. She's that way, that's her. We accept you. I think for today, if I forgot your name and you're here, it's not on purpose. I'm using a list that I was given from the door. I have a longer list. We could not go through all of it. So for now, I want to appreciate you and tell you that we'll be communicating to you shortly. This list, a complete list, will be shared with the media houses so that it can be published. And we will tell you of the next procedure and processes to follow for us to be able to start this journey together. Some of you, as I told you, will form part of the academy that will be working with us as we journey forward. So, to officially start us on this journey, we're not doing anything too flambeau. We already artists. We probably have to bring the sky down for you guys to be impressed. So we just want to unveil the logo. This will be the sign that we are different from anyone else. We are stars that shine higher than anyone else. The idea behind this whole concept has been a conceptualization of 2 people with the great support from Prof. And the reason why, out of the many people in the industry, the reason why I admire Churchill. I knew Churchill many years ago. Nilikuwa nacheka the other day, alikuwa anakaa kama nto. Small, we used to meet and he had a card that had a church. The logo was a church. Church Hill. I can't forget. And he was a hustler at KNT. But I've seen him grow as an artist. When Ridiculous was there, stepped into the stage, and Ridiculous stepped out. The heat probably was too much to handle. I don't know, I'm not insinuating that, I'm just wondering. And after that, what he's managed to do, let me tell you, all of us, we agree. Let me tell you one thing. I sit for a long time, I think for a whole year, I watched him. Alone. And maybe 1 or 2 people, for a long time. Then all of a sudden, one time I'm going to Carnival, and I find a bunch of many people trying to do what he's doing. And until today, you've seen the birth of Eric Omondi, Fred Omondi, Owago Nyiro, Chipukizi, as in, the list is endless. Mwalimu, Teacher Wanjiko, as they talk about, what do you call this new guy, the new guy? Professor Hamo. As in, they all come from this guy. And that's, let me tell you, that's the secret behind true value in people. If you're able to mentor other people and not feel afraid and step aside and give them the limelight, that's what the other thing I looked at, and I said, we share a common vision, we can sit down, conceptualize something, and today we want to officially share with you this dream that has probably been shared also with a lot of you, only that you didn't know the other people like you who share in the same vision. Yeah? So, that's what. It will be very simple, it's just a banner. Talanta Kenya Awards is officially launched. There is the logo. Sorry. Yeah. We don't have the confetti and everything.
Yes.
But I believe this is very beautiful.
Yes.
It's not just beautiful in look, but also the message it carries. You see the elements, these elements, one, it's about Kenya. We want to be very identical, it's about true Kenya. But also we're talking about true stars. We've had many stars, but we want true stars. That's the message we're sending to everyone out there. And I want to urge all of you, when we call upon you, in whatever capacity that we will call you to come on board and work with us, to step forward with confidence and know that you're doing something that's right for you and for the generations to come. Thank you very much, and you can enjoy your meal, enjoy everything. Asante sana. God bless you.